for the Coccinella. This perfect feast is actually a lethal trap. Why does paradise hide an invisible executioner from this beetle? The Crystal Creek ecosystem stretches out infinitely, a chaotic green metropolis, steaming under the intense humidity of the golden hour, dwarfing the microscopic drama on the stem. Massive blades of wild oat grass and towering river reeds create a shifting golden canopy of light and shadow, while the relentless sound of the creek vibrates through the very ground. The atmospheric pressure is heavy, with the temperature holding at 24 degrees Celsius. The metabolic rates of all arthropods in this sector are pushed to their peak efficiency. Hunger is the driving force of this landscape. The subject, a mature Coccinella, is locked in a hyper-focused feeding cycle. It is harvesting high-density lipids from a cluster of aphis fabi parasitizing the fibrous stalk. The aphid colony is defenseless, acting merely as biological fuel cells for the beetle. But while it extracts sugar-rich honeydew from these pests, does the beetle calculate the risk of its own exposure to a higher trophic level? The lipid reserves are now replenished. The Coccinella terminates the feeding protocol and obeys a negative geotactic instinct. It begins to traverse the vertical geography of the Daucus carota, moving upward toward the light. Navigation is treacherous. The stem of the wild carrot is armored with coarse, rigid trichomes. For a creature of this scale, these plant hairs are formidable spikes. Yet the beetle's tarsal claws engage them like grappling hooks, hoisting its heavy armored body against gravity. The camera reveals the sheer scale of the ascent. The Daucus stem sways rhythmically in the open meadow currents, threatening to dislodge the climber into the vegetation below. Why abandon the structural security of the lower stem for the exposed ultraviolet radiation of the flower head? It is a calculated risk for thermal regulation. The beetle seeks the solar warmth accumulated on the flat, white umbel to optimize its flight muscle temperature. It is unaware that this specific platform has been claimed. In the background, the sparkling bokeh of the running water creates a deceptive serenity, masking the brutal silence that reigns on the white flower platform. The Coccinella crests the final ridge of the flower. Its compound eyes are flooded with white light, reflecting off the lace-like petals. In this high-contrast environment, its visual sensors are effectively jammed by the brightness. The threat is already here. Female Misumena Vatia sits motionless. Days ago, she preemptively depigmented her exoskeleton to match the milky white Daucus petals perfectly. She is a biological phantom. How can the beetle identify a predator that has surgically removed its own optical signature from the environment? After a few seconds of scanning, the Misumena strikes. Forelegs clamp down, hunting for the vulnerable soft membrane beneath the armor. The beetle is physically outmatched. It cannot bite through the spider's reach. Instead, it initiates a high-pressure physiological override. It contracts its abdominal muscles to compress the internal hemolymph reservoirs. This is reflex bleeding. The pressure becomes critical at the tibio-femoral joints. The thin membranes of the knees rupture deliberately, sacrificing structural integrity for chemical defense. A thick orange fluid oozes rapidly from the joints, coating the spider's face. This is not standard blood. It is highly concentrated hemolymph loaded with coccinella, a tricyclic alkaloid synthesized for this exact scenario. The reaction is instantaneous. The alkaloid acts as a potent deterrent, overwhelming the Misumena's gustatory receptors with an intolerable bitterness. It signals toxicity, mimicking the chemical signature of a lethal meal. The Coccinella seizes the split-second opening, launching itself from the wild carrot surface. It spreads its wings and takes flight, soaring instantly out of the predator's reach. It glides low across the sparkling river bathed in golden mist. Safe at last, it vanishes into the lush green sanctuary. This is the genius of the undergrowth. Survival is not always about strength. Often it is about having the most expensive blood in the forest.